Hello everyone, Color Medicine here. Have you ever wondered why people feel depressed or become depressed? How do they, how can one cope or deal with a sense of depression? Depression is an interesting thing because basically, and just to simplify things, in a very simple way, depression comes as a result of an overload. When the brain feels overloaded, it could be work, it could be a social life, it could be money, it could be anything that overloads the brain. And when the brain reaches that point of saturation, it may trigger depression. And depression is coming as a signal that we are actually overburdened by this kind of situation, and we really cannot afford to be subjected to this kind of mental overload. We need to retreat from this situation. We need to disengage. So basically, depression is a way in which the brain is attempting to disengage from what would otherwise do some damage or do more harm than good on the brain, unless some form of retreat was implemented or adopted as a way of coping with the situation. So that's why people that are depressed generally will lose interest in things that they used to like to do. They kind of become withdrawn, they lose interest in a variety of things. That's basically because, the brain needs some form of a strategic retreat. I'm reminded by the great Chinese philosopher Sun Tzu, who in the book The Art of War, somewhere there he says that those who run away will live to fight another day. Okay, so really retreat can be a good strategy because it allows the brain to recuperate, it allows the brain cells to regroup in order to tackle that situation in a much better way. Because if you're too involved in a situation that is too demanding, then you are running a risk that you must be spinning your wheels and not really making any productive progress in terms of dealing with it or tackling it or understanding it or finding some workaround solutions. So the brain will then default to a retreat and say, well, we need to retreat, we need to back off, we need to back away from the situation, and then we can tackle it another time. Okay, so basically, next time you feel sad, you've got to ask yourself, why do I feel sad? Now you know why, because the brain needs to get out of that situation for that time. Okay, and of course, basically all normal human beings react this way. Whenever they encounter a very stressful situation that is beyond their means to deal with it or to cope with it. The only difference, of course, between somebody who is previously depressed vis-a-vis somebody that has never been depressed before is that the one that was depressed before, they will stay in that mood of depression much longer, whereas somebody who has never been depressed before, once they hit a snag or some funks, develop some funks about some situation, it normally will last for a reasonable length of time, and after that it will go away, right? But the other person that is what we call clinical depressed, that means that they will actually kind of get stuck in that situation for a period, for longer than a certain period, and then of course at that point it means that they need some help because they are not able to deal with the situation anymore. Okay, so I hope this is useful.